Thanks for stopping by the New Urban Jazz Lounge, where we celebrate music, but in particular, contemporary jazz with touches of urban and Brazilian flavors. Now we take you all around the world and bring you right on back. That's okay, because that's how we do it here. Now you might want to adjust your speaker a little bit. Turn the bass up just a taste. Yeah, right there. I want you to feel comfortable. Sit back in your seat. Grab yourself a nice little drink. Or perhaps you're in your car. Or you're at the job. Whatever. We got your back. It's all good. This is New Urban Jazz, y'all. In fact, you may want to let your friends know what you're listening to so they don't be hating. We don't want any bad blood out there, you know what I mean? Gotta keep the vibe right. This is music for your heart, soul, spirit, mind, and body. We're influenced by the music of people like Duke Ellington, David Sanborn, Quincy Jones, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Marvin Gaye, Motown, Michael Jackson, Pat Metheny, to name a few. We just kind of smash it all together. New Urban Jazz, the coolest place on your radio. And if I may, please allow me to take a page out of a great New York DJ's book. He used to say this: sit back, listen, and enjoy. My name is Bob Baldwin. I'm out.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate the amazing class of 2020. I am Dr. Kimberly Dunn, the University Marshal for Florida Atlantic University. In a few moments, we will begin this commencement ceremony to honor Florida Atlantic University's class of 2020. As we prepare to welcome our graduates, we would like to emphasize how much we all want to make this important occasion an orderly ceremony and to ensure that all graduates receive the recognition they have earned. We ask that you now silence all cell phones and electronic devices that could mar the dignity of this ceremony for our graduates. Please refrain from using air horns and other noisemakers. These devices may call attention to a particular individual, but at the expense of disturbing the ceremony for all others, denying the graduates and their families the honor of hearing their names called. We also ask you to please remain seated during the entire ceremony so that every student who crosses the stage today receives our respect and attention. The ceremony will begin with the procession of graduates, faculty, and platform party. Following the national anthem and speaker remarks, the awarding of degrees will begin with the specialist and master degree recipients, followed by the baccalaureate degree recipients. The ceremony will conclude with the recessional. A professional photographer will take each student's picture as the student crosses the platform and at 2 other points off stage. The fire marshal requests that we keep all aisles clear, so we must ask that you do not leave your seats to take individual pictures. We are also required by Florida law to advise you to take note of the nearest fire exit where you should proceed in the event of an emergency. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. Now, to honor the class of 2020, please rise for the processional.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please welcome the University Marshal, Dr. Kimberly Dunn.
Are you ready to graduate? On behalf of the entire faculty of Florida Atlantic University, welcome to this commencement ceremony for the class of 2020. Mezzo-soprano Monica Benavides Hidalgo and the FAU Brass Ensemble of the Dorothy F. Schmidt College of Arts and Letters, Department of Music, will perform our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, with Dr. Kyle Prescott, Director of Bands, conducting. Please rise for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Florida Atlantic University's President, John Kelly.
Welcome home. Dr. Dunn, members of the faculty, special guests, family members, friends, and graduates. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to Florida Atlantic University's live, in-person commencement ceremony for the class of 2020. Before I proceed, I'd like to acknowledge several of the college deans who are with us today. Dr. Daniel Gropper, the Dean of the College of Business, Dr. Fred Blocher, Associate Dean of Engineering and Computer Science. Would you please stand? Additionally, I'd like to recognize the dedicated men and women who worked extra hard to switch quickly to remote learning this last spring so that our students could continue their coursework while they were able to graduate on time. And I want to give a great deal of thanks to the FAU faculty. I would also be remiss if I did not acknowledge the tremendous toll that COVID-19 has placed on all of us. Nationwide, we've lost more than 700,000 people, and I know that many of you have lost friends or loved ones. I also would like to take a moment of silence in honor of those lives that have been lost by the pandemic. Thank you. Graduates, it is really wonderful to see you here today. It has certainly been a trying year and a half, and I appreciate your patience as we've worked to get this ceremony together and get it rescheduled for you. The COVID-19 pandemic changed all of us in many ways, and we missed out on many things that we wanted to do with friends and family, but I did not want you to miss out on this special occasion. I know how hard you worked, and I know it is important that your degree here at FAU really matters. Your accomplishments also matter. And today, at long last, you will have the opportunity to walk across this stage and be congratulated properly by your families, friends, and your faculty mentors. A few years ago, we started the tradition of giving the graduates an opportunity to take a selfie from their seats, with me contributing a photo bomb in the background. And I know you were not supposed to brought a cell phone with you to this ceremony, but I doubt that there's anybody in the audience without one. This was actually inspired by one of our graduates, Steve Swanson, who is an astronaut, and he took the first Instagram selfie from outer space. So in honor of Steve and that ceremony and your virtual commencement, I'd like to ask you to take a selfie with whomever you're watching the ceremony with, and I'd like for you to do it now in person. So how about it, Owls? I have a photo bomb for your background. And if you would, stand and turn toward the stage and get a selfie. Thank you all very much. If you would, make sure you use the hashtag FAUgrad and add a FAU GIF sticker to your selfie and put it on Instagram or Snapchat. We'd love to keep up with you. You can find them by searching Florida Atlantic. If you're on Twitter, you might know that I like to tweet, so you can tweet your selfies to me at FAU President, which I would greatly appreciate seeing them. And don't forget to use the hashtag FAUgrad. Now, if you would, please put the phones away so that we can have the rest of the ceremony cell phone free so that we honor all of you appropriately today. I want to take a moment to say a special word of welcome to all the family and friends who've also stuck with you during this time, as well as those that are now watching the ceremony via the web. I know how proud you are of these graduates, and I want you to know that the love and support you provided them has really assisted them in the success of the academic journey that they've been on. Graduates, would you please join me in giving a round of applause to that support from your family and friends? Many members of this class chose to participate in the senior class tradition by donating $20.20, amount that matches the graduation year 2020, to support current and future Owls. To signify that connection, the graduates who donated are wearing special red and blue cords today. Since the program's inception in 2014, more than 7,000 Owls have contributed more than $170,000 toward the Senior Class Scholarship Fund. More than 1/3 of our 2020 graduates have done something that no one in their family has ever done before. They've earned a college degree. And I'd like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to our first generation graduates. I'm so very proud of you. Would you please stand and be recognized? I'd like to acknowledge another special group of graduates, the men and women who've served our country or serving our country in the armed forces. Will any graduates who are currently serving in the military or who are veterans please stand so that we can thank you for your service and congratulate you on your academic achievement? Any military? We're very proud of the opportunity that education offers to students of all ages. Our 2020 graduates ranged in age from 17 years old to 77 years old. 207 of our graduates were over the age of 50, and 24 were over the age of 60. What wonderful role models they are for their children and grandchildren. If there are any of our senior scholars in this ceremony, would you please stand and be recognized? As I mentioned, we also take great pride in students who achieve incredible things at a very early age. 2 of our graduates received their degrees at the age of 17. Another 13 were 18 years old when they received their degrees. This is made possible by FAU High School, which allows a dual enrollment program and allows students who are gifted the opportunity to study for their high school diplomas and their college degrees at the same time. If there are any of these impressive young scholars in this ceremony, would you please stand for a round of applause? No baby owls here? Okay, they'll be in the other ceremonies. Many employees who are students, while they're working toward their degrees and simultaneously earning a living and caring for their families. If any FAU employees are in this ceremony, would you please stand to be recognized so your families, co-workers, and everyone here can congratulate you on your success. Our student athletes also make up an important part of the entire life of the FAU community as they strive to excel on the playing field as well as in the classroom. Will any student athletes who are here please stand and be recognized? Do we have any athletes besides me? Okay. Graduates, this marks the 60th year of the founding of Florida Atlantic University. That is when the state legislature actually granted the funding to build Florida's 5th university right here in Boca Raton. Just 3 years later, in October of 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson stood in front of the breezeway, and with a brand new library in the background, he declared FAU officially open. The university had gotten off to a very rough start, and it was a much anticipated day. Earlier that fall, just as FAU was preparing to welcome its first class of students, Hurricane Cleo hit South Florida. The storm caused tremendous damage to the campus and delayed the start of classes. However, when the floodwaters receded and the power came back on, FAU's new faculty and students arrived, excited to begin this idea of learning in paradise. Of course, the campus was no paradise back then. As you might have heard, the university was built on the site of a former Army base, where GIs were trained to use radar technology that helped the Allied forces win World War II. If you've not seen that documentary by WLRN, it's a fascinating documentary of how this base was actually so instrumental in the success in World War II, the ground we walk on. And even as the campus opened in 1964, the grounds were stark with very little green space. It would be another 7 years before trees began to come up in the area that you now know as Narnia, as they were moved from the expansion of I-95 to here on campus and transplanted by a math professor named Jack Freeman. Rumor has it that at that time, the rattlesnakes actually outnumbered the students. Fortunately, that is no longer true. I've been here 7.5 years and have yet to see a rattlesnake. But one thing that has endured is our commitment to opening the door of opportunity through education. When LBJ spoke at the graduation or dedication ceremony, making FAU one of the few universities in U.S. history to be honored by a sitting president, he shared some observations that remain true today. He said that FAU plans to reflect the new future for education based on 3 criteria: full equity in education opportunity, new learning to meet new demands, which means distance ed. We actually did it back then on television. New methods to teach people, many more people than before. And indeed, back in the 60s, we placed special emphasis on the idea of diversity, producing a workforce-ready group of students through evolving needs of our state and this nation, and innovating ways to make education more accessible, including broadcast technology to beam classes to students wherever they might be. We were well ahead of our time in that pursuit, and fortunately, now to the internet, distance learning has ultimately become something that all of us take for granted. At least we did until March 2020, when it became the only way in which we could access information. I know the past year and a half was not what you had imagined you would have during your journey here at FAU. And I want to really commend you for adapting to this unprecedented way of life. The fact that you graduated, of course, speaks to your intelligence. Perhaps more importantly, though, it speaks to your resilience, a trait that will serve you well throughout your life. You remain focused on getting your degree, often isolated from your peers, your professors, and your family, while trying to remain mentally and physically healthy. And while difficult, There's much to be learned from this experience, including the value of relationships and the creative ways that we've learned to maintain those relationships from a safe distance, like drive-by birthday parties and Zoom weddings. I doubt that many of you are looking forward to those in the future. Fortunately, it appears that the end is in sight. And as of last week, more than 189 million people nationwide had been vaccinated, an important step in eradicating this devastating virus. We're finally able to gather with friends again and the family members we have seen in far too long and get back out there and see the world again. And speaking of seeing the world, I hope that you'll remember that you don't have to be in a classroom to continue learning with us. No matter where you go, you can always come back to FAU virtually to further your education. The freedom and opportunity afforded through e-learning is exactly what the university's founders had in mind 60 years ago when they proposed new technologies in teaching. You've helped to carry out their vision and carry forward FAU's longstanding traditions of equity, innovation, and accessibility. You've succeeded in becoming some of the most educated people in the world during one of the worst times in recent history. And your legacy will serve as an inspiration to future generations who will look to you as examples of determination and creativity as you overcame adversity. Congratulations, class of 2020. We are so very proud of you. Now, instead of a long speech today, I was told to make this a brief ceremony so that you could get those degrees you've been waiting so long on. So we are now going to go to that part of the ceremony where we confer your degrees. Dr. Brett Danilowitz, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, will direct the ceremony.
Thank you, President Kelly. As Provost and Chief Academic Officer, I offer my sincere congratulations to each of you today. The faculty and I are not only proud of your achievements, but we are also proud of your commitment to completing this journey in spite of the personal challenges that you have faced amid a global pandemic. We begin with the presentation of specialists and master's degrees. Will the candidates for specialists and master's degrees please stand? President Kelly, these candidates, having completed all requirements for their specialist or master's degrees, are recommended for those degrees by the dean and faculty of their college.
And by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the specialist or master's degree for which you have been recommended with all of the honors, rights, and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations, graduates.
The candidates for specialists and master's degrees will now proceed to the platform so they may receive individual recognition of their achievements. I request that our guests please remain seated throughout the awarding of the degrees so that the last graduate to cross the stage may receive the same recognition as the first. Thank you.
Sweet. Angelica Knight. Danielle Atelian. Sarah Weiner. Susan Morrow. Athena Gunis. Emily O'Connell. Samaya Jibril Hailo. Stephanie Rodriguez.
We will now proceed with the presentation of baccalaureate degrees. Will the candidates for undergraduate degrees please stand? President Kelly, these candidates, having completed all requirements for their baccalaureate degrees, are recommended for those degrees by the dean and the faculty of their college.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the baccalaureate degree for which you have been recommended, with all of the honors, rights, and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations, graduates of 2020.
Will all the graduates please be seated so we may continue with the ceremony? The candidates for baccalaureate degrees will now proceed to the platform so they may receive individual recognition of their achievements.
Irvin Liscano. Enya Morejon Lopez, magna cum laude. Andrea Guevara Navarro, cum laude. Leslie Gonzalez Gonzalez, magna cum laude. Estefania Escobar. Juliana Escobar. Brian Hirsch, magna cum laude. Brian Sterrett. Carolyn Kassler, magna cum laude. Chelson Exum. I feel like I should. Peterson Jacques. Jonathan Spalding. Brenda Draper. Justin Sotomayor. Bruce Lewis. Kiara Wright. Joshua Tashbar, magna cum laude. Arele Pacheco, magna cum laude. Frida Raphael, cum laude. Robin Jean. Cassandra Hurtwriter. Amber Jarmenko, magna cum laude. Casey McLeod. Ashley Marcantonio. Alyssa McCulley, cum laude. Vinicius D'Amelio. Javier Brugue. Vincent Cortellesa, summa cum laude. Carlos Federoni. Nicholas Garassi. Alyssa Warsham, cum laude. Brianna Zangi, cum laude. Latoya Allen, magna cum laude. Emanuela Rocha. Ida Server. Isabella Maltrati. Sorry again. Isabella Matrati. Claudia Klemke. Jessica Augustin, magna cum laude. Tiffany Davenport. Vashida Vasquez Moreno, cum laude. Ariel Williams. Tatiana Givens, cum laude. Christina Ross. Zoe Helfand. Laura Perillo. Alexandra Garcia Alvarenga, cum laude. Yensa Brina Nguyen. John Nguyen. Julia Rosopoulos. Samira Zahangyar. Yanariz Perez, summa cum laude. Sebastian Serrano Rodriguez. Aya Harb. Valand Souverain. Kayla Horn. Nadia Musa. Christopher Spagnolia. Alika Polion. Christopher Romaine, magna cum laude. Isabella Triviani, magna cum laude. Joshua Williams. Diego Delgado. Janina Castro Perez. Jasmine Cano. Cassia Castillo. Sydney Wynn. Tiffany Cito. Patrick Trepskos. Alan Rodriguez Herrera. Joshua Luminoru. Shannon Lee. Crystal Henry. Alicia Isaac. Rochelle Madden. Soledad Garacoa. Jennifer Silva. Chelsea Charmant. Santiago Rojas.
Thank you.
I now address you for the first time as official graduates of Florida Atlantic University. You're welcome to transfer the tassel to the left side of your cap and receive a standing ovation from this audience.
Congratulations, graduates. This completes the conferral of degrees honoring our 2020 graduates. Once again, we like to request that all of our graduates remain at their seats until the platform party and all of our graduates have recessed from the auditorium. We request that family members meet their graduates outside of the auditorium. Please note that the main building will be closed at the conclusion of this graduation. Thank you for your cooperation. Ms. Monica Benavides Hidalgo and the FAU Brass Ensemble will now lead us in singing the Florida Atlantic University alma mater. If for some reason you didn't memorize the words during your 4 years at FAU, the words to the alma mater will appear on the screens above the stage. Please rise.
With the Gulf Stream breezes blowing, the search for truth goes on. Seeking, learning, sharing knowledge, finding the meaning of the past that is gone, where nature beams with pleasant weather. We strive to